Hi, this is Dave, your farmer from Wrong Direction Farm. Today I'd like to give you a quick tour of our chicken shelters. We use these shelters on pasture so our chickens always have access to fresh grass. The basic thing we're trying to accomplish with our chicken shelters is to give the chickens grass underfoot. We need them to be able to move to fresh grass, so the whole structure needs to be mobile as we tow it around the pastures on a daily basis. So we built these shelters. Actually, we've built 5 of these shelters that we have here. Over the years, we've built many types of chicken coops and shelters, from very small ones up to the current size we have now. Now, it's important to note that chickens are originally an Asian jungle bird, and so their ideal environment is not to be out in the direct sunlight out on a totally exposed pasture. They do like to shelter under things, and that's why we've given them this covering. It also protects them from predators. You know, owls are actually the biggest predator threat we have on our farm. We have hawks and we have eagles, and they all will attack a chicken if given the chance, but owls are kind of the super avian predator around here. Although they need to be protected from predators, we do want them to experience as much of the outdoor goodness as they can get. So we've got ventilated sides. You can see on here, all the sides of the coops are ventilated. There are actually flaps that we can roll down if there's a big storm coming in, but almost all the time we just leave them wide open. Maybe in the fall when the weather gets a little cooler, we sometimes have to roll them down. But chickens are out in the sun, and you can see there are some, there's a little squabble there. You can see there's some other chickens here resting in the shade. So that's a pretty good balance. So let's take a look at the grain feeders that the chickens use. These are their feeders. These are 50-pound hanging feeders, and they are tied through this cable up to a bunch of pulleys on the ceiling that all run down to the other side of the building to a winch mounted up near the roof. We've also got waterers down here, and these are just little nipples that hang down and the chickens can drink from them. It prevents them from making too much of a mess on the ground. If any water drips down, you can see the chickens can catch it out of these cups. They have to tilt their head up to swallow, so you see after every drink, head goes up, water goes down. So our shelters are framed on these 6x6 beams. These are actually old New York State Thruway guardrail box beams. We found a contractor that removes them from thruway sites after there have been crashes and snowplow damage and things like that, and he saves the better sections and sells them. They're still relatively expensive, but they're cheaper than buying new steel, and they're nicely galvanized. So these come in 36-foot lengths, and that kind of sets the length for our chicken shelters. The frames for the shelter are old greenhouse frames that we've bought either on Craigslist or by knocking on doors at abandoned old greenhouses and offering to buy the greenhouse frames from the landowner. So those are our chicken shelters. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be interested in hearing from you. Thanks.